happens, one of the main things that happens is we get locked in our joints. We get locked in our joints, so we stand sort of locked, and we sort of rest in our hips, or we hold ourselves, versus what happens when you open up the ankles and feet and the knees and the hips, and you align the spinal column with just this very light little drawing down of the tail. One of the ways my teacher was describing it recently was you put the workload onto the chi as opposed to onto the muscle, right? Instead of holding ourselves up using muscle, we're releasing that, and then we're placing the workload onto the energetic nature of the body, the vibrancy, and one other way to think of that is on the hydraulic or water nature of the body. That's sort of an easier way to understand it, because sometimes chi is a sort of a mystical concept that gets in the way, but just by opening up all your joints and letting the workload of keeping you upright no longer be in tension or density, what they call in Chinese li, or clumsy strength, or sort of this brutal strength, instead of the graceful quality of the energy and the hydraulics. So when we're standing, that's what you're working on. It might look like nothing's really happening, but you're working on placing the workload onto the energetic nature of the body. So let's just spend maybe a minute here breathing in, breathing out. Some of the subtle ways that you can release some of that li or strength is by rocking your weight a little bit forward in the balls of the feet, rocking a little bit back, so you release some musculature and tone up some other, and then when you find the middle, you're able to relax both sides, similarly shifting a little bit to the side or the other side. You might find yourself wanting to gently move the fingers, the wrists, the forearms, arm bones, internal, external rotation, shoulder blades, head and neck, to release the barnacles of grip in the body. And today we're going to do the entire Hun Yuan Qigong set, which is this really cool set that I've slowly been showing you guys, and we're going to get the entire experience of that today. The focus of that is hydraulic movement, fluid movement, and of consolidating chi to the belly, 2 inches or so deep to the navel, which is where they place the sort of lower energy battery and raw power, right? So you'll get that feeling as we go through it. Maybe another 45 seconds or so. So now that first gesture in this whole system, the larger system, is this movement here that we worked on. So I'll turn at an angle so you can see some of the relationships of the body. So we're standing sort of in the middle here, everything's relaxed. And as if that energy is sort of surging up the back and through and over the top, you begin surging the arms up and out in front as you rock your weight a little bit more towards the ball of the foot. So there's this surging all the way up and over and through. And then this sort of descending down. The hands come to the mouth area as if you're ingesting, drawing down to the belly. The hands hover for a moment at the belly, and then you point your fingers down, sit the tail, round the back a little bit, and open up through the channels of the back, and let the arms really hang relaxed. And then you rise back up to vertical, and you find that standing position again. And then again, as if it's surging up the backside, arms go up and forward and out and reaching. And then you rock back. The hands come to the mouth, down the front seam, hover the hands at the belly for a moment, and then the tail goes down and back. The arms release, and we open all the back channels. And then rise back to standing. And we'll do that again. This is called sinking chi to wash the organs. There's many things that you can accomplish with this movement. Initially, some of you are probably feeling when you go down like this, there's a lot of tension in the way. So you might only get to about here. You might not sink. So don't force it, but over time, those pathways will open up. Another thing you can accomplish is this feeling of sloughing off the density, the grip, the holding that's in the body. So think of this like water washing through these various pathways. And you're just letting that water all the way through. And every time you come back up, you can have this feeling of you're holding on to less than what you went down with. Let's do that. It's maybe 4 or 5 more times. Hover, and then sink, release, round. Rising up and just pausing in the middle for a moment. And then again. So there's 2 sorts of things happening. There's the internal piece of opening up the internal pathways, muscular pathways, promoting this natural flow of life force through the internal body. But there's also this idea of all the chi around us, this chi field around us, that as we align more and more with it, we can actually harvest it, right? It's at least the story. It's sort of an interesting story. We're harvesting, bringing into the belly, and then letting it circulate through all the channels. Let's do 2 more. And last one. So that's that initial clearing. The next one happens in, you can sort of remember it, the 3 Dantian areas that we are opening or harvesting from and bringing to the navel, bringing to this belly. So the first one is very similar to what we just did, but what we add is rocking the balls of the feet, hands float forward, rock back into the heels, the hands float a little bit back. Rocking and forward, rocking and back. Rocking gently forward. So think of that as like the basic. Now, rock a little forward. Now, as you rock back, it's like catching a wave. Rock back, up, around, and forward, hands out in front. Rock back, the hands come to the mouth, down to the belly as you're in your heels, and then rock to the center of the feet and central consolidate right in the belly area. And then relax, rock back to the heels, hands back. Rock to the balls of the feet, hands forward. And then ride the wave. Back, around, out, drawing back, and down. To the belly, rock to the center of the feet where you just sort of consolidate, harvest, connect to that center, and then rock back, rock forward, rock back, and do it again. So we'll do 3 more, 5 of each. Out and around, rock back and bring into the mouth, down to the belly, where you settle and let it consolidate, and then rock to the heels, relax. Forward, the hands rock forward. Ride the wave. Back, up and around, out in front, and then rock back to the heels, the mouth, down to the belly as you rock to the center of the feet, and then release, rock back. Release, rock forward. Twice more. So this is, they call it Sandan Tai Chi. So the 3 Dantian, harvesting. Last one. So that's the upper to the middle. The next will be the middle to the middle. The middle, think of navel to what's called Ming Men in your low back area, sort of L3, L4, L5 area. They call that the gate of life, the door of life. So again, we're rocking forward, rocking back, rock forward. Now, rock back. The hands stay low. Sorry, I'm receiving phone calls. Okay. So we're rocking back. The hands stay low and circle out in front, right around navel height. Rock back, bring the hands back and draw in through the navel, opening this low back area with a sort of like gentle tuck, like almost like cat pose, and then rock to the middle and settle again right in that middle area. So we're really defining what our middle dantian, this central dantian is. Rock back, release hands back. Forward. That sort of clears the palate. And then we rock back and the hands stay low. Rock forward, the hands go out. Rock back, come in through the navel, opening up that pathway from navel through to Ming Men. And then settle back to the middle dantian. Rock back, forward. And again, back, hands circle, reach out. Rock back, draw in through navel, open that back door. And then settle back to the middle. 2 more. Hands stay low. Remember this idea of using fluid-like power to control the body instead of stiff muscular movement. So you have to relax and then start to rock and move with this rocking fluid type movement. There's many reasons this is beneficial. Many reasons, from energetic reasons to muscular and joint reasons to just the mind. There's something so hypnotic about rock, circle the hands, last one. So we're harvesting from the middle region. And then release, hands back, forward. Now we're going to go for the lower. So here, the hands stay nice and relaxed. They begin to circle, but then you sit, and the hands come between the feet up to the perineum. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. You come back with the hands, come up through the sacrum and into this Ming Men area, and then like it's spilling to that belly, spilling into the belly. And then rock back, release. Rock forward, release. rock back, and again, arms circle, we sit, hands come between, up to the perineum, up and over in the back, and then spill in through the back to that belly area where it's consolidating, settling. And then again, we rock back, forward, clear the palate, and then like just fluid, easy water, just with no extra anything, just so easy, moving. And this just clears out all this glue and stagnation in the body, and it defines for us our central dantian. And again, riding that wave down and through, up the back, pouring in, settling right to that belly. Let's do one more. And rock back and forward. Now from here, sink chi to the belly. The hands come up like crane wing, roll and fold, and settle right down in front of the navel. So in between, throughout the practice, you do some stuff, and then you come back to doing nothing at all. Yin and yang, right? And so that's one of the sort of underlying approaches to all different Qigongs and Tai Chi practices. And then release the hands down. Now, bring your left foot slightly forward of your right foot turns slightly out. And now we're shifting back into back leg, turning the hips a little bit back, and also letting that Ming Men area turn a little bit back. So there's just like a little twist going back. And then shift your weight forward, turn hips forward, and turn a little bit at that Ming Men and let the hands float a little forward. So we get this rock back and forward thing here, right? So now we're shifting and turning. We're loosening up where we're feeling stuck. We're filling up back leg and turning back. Filling up front leg, turning forward, back and forward. Now this is called old man or woman casting the net. So we shift back and turn. The hands keep going and circle up and over, and then the hands come forward as if casting a net way out, and then sinking, come with the hands under the feet, up the backside, up to that Ming Men area, and then spilling into the belly as you shift the weight forward. Then release that, rock back and turn back. Rock forward, turn forward. Rock back, catch that circular ride. The weight's in the front foot as you sink. Then the hands come under, shift into the back leg as your hands come up the back, and then shift into the front leg one more time as you pour the energy right into the belly. Doing it again. Shift and turn back. Shift and turn forward. Shift and turn back, catch the ride, the circle. Hands go way out in front, casting a net, sinking. Hands come under, up the back, into that Ming Men area, and spill right into the belly. The hands sort of guide it to that space. Then relax, hands back and forward again. And again, turning, riding that wave, casting that net, gathering from upper, middle, and lower, bringing it right in from the backside into belly. One more time. Catch that wave, casting the net up and into the belly. Settling there. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. Rock back and forward. On this one, as if you're going to cast a net, cast it, step the right foot a little bit forward. The hands come down, step the left foot back, and then let's rock forward and back a few times on this side. So again, there's shifting happening, shifting from leg to leg. There's hip turning a little back and forward. There's also that little turn at the Ming Men or that lumbar area, this little turn. Now we ride the wave. So coming back, hands come up and over, cast the net forward, sink, hands come under the foot, up the backside, and then spill right into the belly. Rock back, forward, back, catch that wave, and cast the net up and into the belly. Back, forward, catch the wave, and spill. One more. Back, cast, up, and to the belly. Good. Now we close this by basically doing another cast of the net all the way through. Step that left foot forward, the right foot back, and bring the hands back, and then just bring the hands to the belly as you step parallel feet. And then the hands drop down, sink the chi to the belly. And hover hands at the belly. So that's the second set within. So we had the 3 gathering to the belly. We had the casting the net on either side, both to the belly, right? So you notice how that's sort of the theme here, is defining our dantian for us and moving like water. Relax the hands down. This next one here. So now softening long, soften the right arm extra long, sort of like it's getting heavier, but you're reaching it down. And notice how the left arm, you're going to draw it up and you're going to fill through this right leg, left leg empties, and then switch. So you're softening this arm long, sort of reaching it, but again, not with tense strength, but with softening, softening, softening. And then back to center, softening, 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 elbow floating. And then softening, softening, softening. So we're switching leg to leg. It's called separating yin and yang. Softening, so we're feeling one is long, one is drawing up. One leg becoming our full, the other becoming totally empty. Now here, our weight is in this right leg. Turn the hips to the right, let that left hand sweep across. And then bring the hand to the belly as you shift your weight to that left leg. And then as you turn, that right hand sweeps across. And then shift to the right leg as you drop your left hand. Turn, and then sweep. Turn and sweep. And then as you shift, one hand comes to the belly, the other drops. So again, you notice we're just defining this belly importance, right? Hand is coming right onto the navel, turning. So we're also getting the rotation of the hips going a little bit more. We're loosening up where we're blocked there, moving like it's fluid. One more time. And then bring both hands onto the belly, and the hands sink chi to the belly. So these little mini sets within the larger set. And then we break them up with these little moments of sink chi to belly. And then drop the hands down. Now this one here, we have the upper, the middle, and the lower. Bring the hands up in front. And then space them apart. And bring them back together. Space them apart. And bring them back together. So when you space them apart, think about opening this basin, all of this area, opening, spacious, and then compressing and bringing it close a little bit. Open and close. And what you'll notice is I'm slightly shifting now. You know, it's confusing when I'm the mirror shifting to my left leg. This is my left. So in this particular movement, we want to go slightly to the right when we open, and to the left when we close. Right, open, left, close. Also notice when my hands come apart, they're not coming back. They're just opening and close. So you let it be the pull of the fingertips away that opens this whole space and back. Shifting to your right as your hands go apart and back. One more time. So we're just opening these basins. Now, as you come back to center, drop the hands so they're right at navel height. Shifting to your right, open the hands, bring them back together. Open the hands. There's something about when we just let the hands lead that it affects a change in the middle. So the first sort of stage of it is the hands going out and apart, And that helps to open these various basins within the body. Eventually you can feel the basin opening, and that sends the hands out. So it'll switch gears over time. 2 more. We're doing middle basin. You're shifting to your right as you open and left as you close.
Otto, are your feet staggered also? 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, or are they parallel?
They're sort of like turned a little bit, right? So they're not being forced to be parallel like this. There's often this feeling of a little bit in front and a little bit behind.
Okay.
A little bit in front, but it's mostly just sort of a comfortable thing, as opposed to being like forced to be sort of ballet straight, right? So we're sort of here and there. So yeah, there's like a little bit of a stagger, but it's not forced. It's just comfortable, right? And
cool,
then
thank you.
Yeah, same idea from the groin area, open and close. So now the hands are really just hanging, and they open and close. So you're shifting to your right a little bit, open, close, open, close. Maybe about 3 or 4 more. So this is the basins of the body, because there's something very important about the center line of the body. It's where all of our endocrine glands are. That's where our central nervous system runs. That's where we have this very strong tendon going up and down the body. And so the center line, we're sort of opening and closing it. And that's sort of a theme as well. All right, so we're back to middle. Hands, sink chi to belly. Just a moment there. So it's another little mini set, upper, middle, lower, right? Preparing the body. It's like preparing soil. They often use that poetic imagery of preparing the soil of the body for cultivation of the proper things to grow and the fruits of that. All right, so relax the hands down. Now here we're again doing similar to this soften long thing, but it's going to start to circle like this. But again, you notice if I was stiff, I could do this with my hands all day, or I could work on soften long one side that brings the other side up, and then the softening long as I shift my weight a little bit, and soften long. And so you want to feel, they call this left and right wheel, left and right wheel. So again, it's not a frozen body making wheels, it's this releasing and releasing. You can sort of feel it in through your back and your spine and the organs of the belly, the sort of wheeling gesture. So when my left arm or my right arm is reaching down, my weight is in that leg, and then I switch and I'm back and forth a little bit through. Sort of has this almost like a Latin dance move vibe to it. So you're really getting these wheels in the body, turning. And this is the outer body wheel. Let's switch directions, reverse that. Soften long. So we're wheeling. And I'll tell you, these movements, all of them, they're all sort of weird. I'm very well aware that they're sort of like, I don't know, they're kind of weird. They're kind of super subtle, so they're easy to kind of think to yourself, at least I did, what are we doing? But I spent a 10-day retreat doing this movement among other sets. And eventually you came to realize, whoa, there's some magical stuff happening deep within the body, just loosening up areas that are very hard to get at otherwise with these movements. Now, same idea, that was the outer wheel. Now we bring the hands in front and we make this wheel in front. Same idea, we're not just frozen everywhere else and moving our hands. We're sort of internally in this belly area doing this little circle. So think of it like a churning of, we've opened and closed, we've stored all this chi in the basin, and now we're just churning, sort of spinning it internally. So even though the hands are doing a sort of spinning movement, eventually it's being spun by what's spinning on the inside. It's a very interesting sort of change that happens over time. Switch directions of that circle. And so then again, the storyline of what's going on here is we've got this sort of created medicine here, this chi in that belly, and then we take it and now place your hands on the heart lung space, just this upper region resting there. And this is an ancient series that's been developed by pretty high level people, so it all sort of has this sequence to it, which is very, very powerful. So now we've got our hands just sort of drawing the healing quality to the heart and lungs and this upper region. And then take the hands off, just shake them out, clean them off. We do that twice more. So rub. And then have the hands separate just a little bit, feel that warmth, and then just take it right onto the chest. And the visualization, if you like it, is just pouring it in. The good goes in, and the hands naturally will just, whatever stagnation there may be, which there's plenty in us, comes onto the hands like a magnet, and then we just shake that clear. Again, rub-a-dub-dub. And then the hands separate and come right onto the chest. And you can sort of feel certain areas need that a little bit more, the healing hand quality. And shake it clear. And then we do rotating sun and moon. So now take the hands and do this one that we've done in our self-massage series. So it's from the collarbones out, down the side ribs, across the front ribs, up the middle, circle. Switch directions, circle. And clean the hands off, shake it loose, rub the hands. Now, these next two, we have again, it tells the story of what we're working on. We have the front channel that goes from the palate down through the front seam to the belly, and then the back channel that goes from the perineum up the back, up and over the top, and to the palate, right? So there's this connection, this circle that we're working with, the microcosmic orbit. So we filled up this chi, we got some good medicine, and now we're gonna try to get it to pump through these channels. So now we've got the hands rubbed, we're gonna try to open these certain areas that are hard to keep open. So up and over the crown to the palate. So take the hands behind the head and go up over the head to the palate. And again, up over head to palate. And so you're moving, and you can get this sort of shoulder movement, circle movement, but you're focusing on unblocking that path that goes up the back, over the crown, and down to the palate there. Boom. So you're clearing these sort of common blocked areas, especially when we overthink or we have tension and stress. We sort of block this through space to get all the way through, right? And clean off the hands. And then lastly, we do this from palate to the belly one here. So rub hands, and then we go from the palate down to the belly, sort of out in front, like you're pulling down, pulling down, pulling down, pulling down, pulling down, and then hands on the body, down, down, down. So we're just emphasizing this down, 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 because often the chi and whatnot gets stuck in the head, gets stuck in the heart. So we're just down, down to the belly, right? Then shake it loose. Now, place your left foot slightly in front, right foot slightly behind. So we're back to that staggered position. And now we're gonna, it's called the grand microcosmic orbit. We're just gonna pump that chi through this channel, through this channel, through this channel. So the hands come up and over. Now they're out in front. Sit like we did before, right? So we're one foot slightly in front. Sitting, and the hands come down under the feet, up, and they trace sort of up the back, under the armpit, and we're just visualizing up the back and over the crown, down through the palate, and again, sink. So now think of this like you're spinning that microcosmic wheel of chi from wherever it currently is through that channel. So we're just trying to open the channel. So this wheeling motion. This wheeling motion. And the hands sort of trace the idea of up the back, up and over, down. And this one we emphasize the up the back. So we're going down, we're going up, and then this we're just sort of released, and then up and released. One more. Now on this next one, we are dropping the hands. The feet stay the same, slightly offset. Now the hands are right by the groin. Sink into your legs and feel this as opening and getting through to the perineum. And then hands go out in front and we pour in through that upper palate, down through the front channel, sink. Out in front, down to the belly. And this sink helps us get it through. And then we sort of shift a little bit forward to gather, back, down through that front channel, sink. So we're emphasizing clearing these main rivers of the body that will then nourish the rest of the streams and tributaries and whatnot. That's, again, the story of what we're doing here. Now, we switch sides. Step the other foot back, other foot forward. Let's clear the back channel, up and over, like a wheel spinning. So I'll turn it a slight angle just so you can see it. So we bring up, hands go out, and then it's this sitting and under and up the back, over the crown. Right? And so you do not have to do this fast, especially in the beginning. Take your time with it. Sinking. But it's a really powerful movement that once the spaces start to clear, once the wheels start to clear, then you can sort of, you can kind of get it moving. Remember the idea of a water body, a liquid body? And switching to the other movement where you let the hands fall in front and then you're sinking through, the hands are between, then a little shift forward that sends the hands out, right? So we're shifting a little forward, shifting back and gathering, hands come down the middle and then sink and let it go through. So we're feeding into the belly and then letting it go through to the perineum so that it can circle back up around the back side. And we're just nourishing and clearing this front channel. It's called the grand microcosmic orbit. And I'll tell you, again, these things are weird, but having done a 10-day, I've done 3 10-day retreats now, where you get to do it a lot and really take care of yourself. And there's something so potent, so powerful about learning our deep, subtle body anatomy that we're learning here. All righty, stand back, front, circle the hands, up and over, hands settle down, right in front of the belly. Yeah, all righty. So now one other thing to learn about our human body is that we can close, right? Close and open. Close, wrapping around and open. So again, this is another one of those where it's to the right, to the left, because again, according to what they talk about, the chi moves in our body up the back, down the front, as well as up the left to the right. So that's why when we're doing some of these opening and closing exercises, we go to the right when we're opening and to the left when we're closing. But this one's a little hard to teach because I have to do it the correct way instead of mirrored. So when you shift to your left leg, so your left leg will be opposite to mine, take your right hand inside, left hand around the outside. So you'll be looking a little bit like this, right? And then shift to your right leg and roll everything open. And shift and roll everything closed. This is called opening heaven, closing earth. And we do the opposite. So we're going to do, this is just sort of the basic, right? So you're shifting, turning. Again, the hands are going in, out. But again, it's not just hands in and out. You see the difference if I do that versus when I go in, out, the whole body, opening, closing. Now, the next time you come across to your left leg, bring your right hand around on the outside and then bring the hands up and out as you shift to your right leg. And circle, shift back to the left and bring the right hand on the inside. Open, and let's do it again. Close, bring the right hand on the outside and do this nice big circle, clearing that space. And then when you shift back to your left leg, close. So I'm just turned to this angle so you can see some of what's happening on the front side of the body. Again, close and ride that wave all the way around and through, and then close. Open, close and ride the wave, open, shift to the left, close, shift to the right, open. And this is another one of those, like Michael, when you were asking, is the foot sort of staggered? Yeah, it's a little bit staggered. It's not staggered like this, but it's sort of a little bit turned in that direction. Just because of the way the body is built, it's built on these little circles, and you can create these different angles. So close, open. Let's just do maybe 3 more of these. So you're opening, closing, riding the close all the way to an open, back to a close. Open, and then close, ride it around to an open, close. Open, one more. Close, ride it around to an open, close. Now, open, close. Now we ride the open around, bring the hands together up above, not touching, but just towards each other, together, and drop them down in front of your groin area. Drop them down here, close. And then we shift to the right, open, close. Ride the open, open, open. Shift to the left leg as you close and drop the hands right in front. Then shift to the right, open. Shift to the left, close. Shift to the right, open, ride the open, bring the hands together, drop them down, close. So inside here is what we're really doing. We're close, open, close, open, close, open, around, and close. So that's called opening earth, closing heaven, closing heaven. Open, close. And again, since some of these are the first time you've done them, they're going to feel sort of weird, and just get your head wrapped around them. And again, I tell you, they are amazing at cleaning out areas of the body that are very hard to get at. These sort of deep stucknesses inside of us. One more time, open, close, open, ride the open all the way around, and then close. Good. And then circle, sink chi to the belly. Almost to the end with this lovely series. And the hands come down. So now this next one, standing with even feet slightly turned out, take your left hand and reach it at an upward diagonal. So if you were in a telephone booth, think of that corner of the telephone booth right there. And you're gonna reach it and let the reaching pull your torso into almost like a little bit of a twist. So you can feel this sort of cleaning out of your back. Then turn the palm up and drop it and let it fall. And we just ride that again. So your weight's in your left leg. As you reach, you shift the weight a little bit to the right leg, but you also keep that left leg where it is so that you're creating this little twist and this lengthening through the tissues. Drop the hand. And again, reach. And what you also want to feel, it's almost like you're throwing the fingertips in that direction. Throwing the fingertips in that direction. Throwing. This just feeds the chi through this particular channel space. It unlocks particular areas where we're stuck. Feed it through that channel. Feed it through that channel. Feed it through. Feed it through. One more, and then we switch hands. So now as this hand comes down, other hand, feed it through. Feed it through. So there's a weight shift into the leg of the direction your hand is headed. But this feeling of reaching, and again, fluid. So it's important to drop the hand, let it really fall to complete relaxation. Feed it through. There's also a sort of corkscrewing, right? Like a turning of the arm as well. So it's reaching and sort of twisting and wringing through some of these spirals of the body. All right, now let that hand relax. Now this hand, it comes across and circle like you're drawing a circle on the front, and let it relax each time it comes down, and then another circle. Circle, circle, circle. There's this little weight shift happening. We're just drawing a very relaxed circle. Right, if I turn to the side, you can see how I'm not cranking my arm way back. I'm just letting it draw a nice, comfortable circle right out in front. Let's switch arms. Other hand, circle, just with so much ease. It's a big part of the difficulty of Tai Chi Qigong is letting ourselves be easy, right? I'll turn to the side so you can just see. And when we learn how to move with ease, we start to drop different stuck areas out of us that otherwise, if we are always working too hard to do it, those things just get harder and harder. They just really root in. All right, now we double it up. So we're going corner, 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 corner. Really feel that from the mid-back, that sort of Ming Men area, that you're getting this opportunity for a little bit of a twist, twist. You're cleaning out, getting a nice reach, throwing it to the edge of that direction, throwing it and then letting it drop naturally down. Throw, 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 throw. And then the inside out circles. In, in, in. So relaxed, so easy. In, into out, into out. And finishing, hands down. Now here, there's something called the belt meridian, the belt grinding meridian around our body, and it's pretty much right at that Ming Men area. So this next one, again, it goes from left to right. So you're sitting a little bit comfortably, turning slightly to your left, bring your hands to the left side like they're sitting on top of a table, and they're gonna circle. So again, just do that with your hands by themselves, the circle, where they go out away from the body and back into the body, up the left, around and down into the right, right? And then see if you can add to that this movement at that Ming Men. So it's turning. As you turn back, the hands go out, the hands come back in, and you turn and come through. It's not a turning of the hips. It's actually a stable hip, and then a turning of the rib cage and back. And then turning of the rib cage and back. Turning. So you're turning from your left to your right, and they get larger and larger. So we're now cleaning out this belt meridian. Belt meridian. Two more. Belt meridian. Belt meridian. Switching directions, starting small. So now you're going out the right, in the left. Out the right, in the left. And again, not just hands with a frozen body, but this little turn. Turn as you're unlocking Ming Men, that door of life, this area back here that for many of us is locked. Couple more, they can get larger. That's what's fun too, they can get larger. And notice I'm not falling forward with the hands, I'm sort of sinking and sinking and sinking, sinking. And back to center. Final couple movements here. Opposite hand going down the outside of that leg, then the same side hand following as the opposite hand comes around to the middle, and we come up the middle. And then opposite hand down the side, sweeping around, come up to the navel, and we go around, down, around, up, down, around, up, down, around, up, down, around, up. One more of each. Now we do double, down, around, up. Do one more of those. Down, around, up, and settle. Now dropping the hands, let's do 3 of those sinking chi to wash organs. Back to the mouth, down the front, hovering at the belly. Fingers point down, we sink, let it wash through, and back to standing. Again, let it flow up the back, over and through, over the crown, out to the fingertips. And washing down the front as you gather in, nourishing down through that front channel. Sinking, releasing. And again. Sink the chi to the belly. And release the hands down. So that is the Hunyuan Qigong system. We would potentially close at this point, but I also want to refresh what we've been working on in terms of this 13 energy Tai Chi work that I've been introducing a little bit of. So the rising hands movement that we've done. So level 1, rising hands. You rock a little forward, the hands are rising up in front, and then sinking down. The 2 energies that this represents is Peng. Peng is like the fullness of an inner tube or the swelling of an ocean wave. And then Lu, which is this sliding back, this drawing back. Peng and Lu. So let's do that again. Peng and Lu. Now we have Peng. We have sort of like Lu sliding back. And then this is called An, which is like the trough of a wave all the way down. And then we have this little sink that we're accustomed to, which just lets it get all the way through the feet. Let's do that part again. Peng, sliding back into An. An. And these words represent movements of chi within our body. Movements of chi. So there's this Peng quality, then there's this receding quality, then there's this sinking quality called An and through. Now we do that level 3, which includes some other ones. So we have Peng, receding back. Now it settles just a bit down. This is called Ji, which is sort of driving forward. So go ahead and drive forward through the system all the way. Turn the palms to face in and drop them down. And then ride this all the way out. That's called Sai, this reaching. And then it goes right into this Lu. And then we do Peng An, and through. So that's the full 13 energy opening. So let's do that again. Peng, Lu, settling, and then it's Ji, extending forward. Remember with this one, some of the value is reach, 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 open your back, and then let it drop. Circling up, this sort of reaching Tsai movement into Lu, where you're sliding down, and then Peng to An. Peng, recede, settle, and then through. All right. Now, another version of pung, turn your left foot out a little bit. So one way it's described is like you have a big blanket and you're taking this blanket and you're going to try to drape it out over something. So pung, right? If I face forward, maybe you can see a little clearer. Up and out, right? This pung, and then left palm facing up, right palm facing down, lu, drawing back as you turn back. And then relax your hands, switch your weight over, and let's do that to the other side. Pung. So think of it as a quality of chi through the body, of buoyancy and fullness. And then lu is like sliding back. Sliding back. And then you just drop your hands and shift your weight over. And then we pung this way. So you turn this left leg out a little bit. Pung. The weight goes into that left leg. You let it reach out, reach its full expression. And then lu. Back. And release the hands down. And then we go the other way. Pung. So it's full. And then it's lu, where it's just like sliding. And it's happening on the outer body, but you start to feel it happening inside these inner channels of the body. So it's not me putting my arms up there so much as this like, this flood, and then this return. So my teacher was talking about, you know, at first we approximate what the chi is naturally gonna do when it's unleashed and more sort of vibrant in the body. And then eventually the chi takes over and it starts to move us. So this movement, you sort of approximate it yourself for a while. And then eventually you start to feel like, oh yeah, pung, this feeling of like, whoa, full. And then naturally that fullness is going to turn around and come back. Let's do one more. Turning out, we go pung and recedes back. So with that same sort of quality, we do G and then on, right? So let's turn that left foot out. And like you have a little energy ball here, bring that energy ball up and G, let the hands extend forward. So notice how that's different than this pung quality, is this driving, and that reaches its edge. Then you shift back, bring the hands back above, and then it's on, this sort of down and through quality. And then we switch sides. We're gonna make a little ball. G, driving it forward. And then coming back as you shift into that back leg and on, down and through. We're gonna go that way. G, you reach the edge of it. The hands might even like extend, extend, extend. Then you just feel, they naturally come back and on, down, through. And when I go down, I'm actually sort of sitting into a bit of a squat, but this is all open and through, right? So through. And then everything's relaxed and we're going G, and then on, down, this sort of sinking and releasing, and then rising up, super relaxed, switching sides. Again, G, G, shifting back, on, and through. Again, G, on. One more of each. So these are in pairs, some of them, especially these first four. And so that's how we're learning them. G, on, through, right? Now let's put all those together in sort of a little mini form. So it's pung lu, and then G on the other way. So pung, lu. You drop the hands, shift your weight over to that left leg, and then we're going G, on, through, release. Now we're going to pung this way. So you come up and you go pung, lu. The hands fall as you shift your weight. Get ready for that G this way. G, on. You shift back, the hands come above, and then it's sinking, 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 releasing all the way through the earth. Rising up, you're in this right leg. We pung this way again. So pung, loop. Dropping hands, shifting weight back to the other side, and then it's G, driving, and on, sink. As we come up, we stay in that left leg and pung, loop. So we're inviting the chi to go through its various states. G, on, back, sinking and releasing. Let's just do that a few more times and sort of get into the vibe of it. Pung, lu. I think I messed up which side we're doing, so I repeated. But G, down and release. Now we stay in this back leg, and again, pung, lu. Hands drop as you switch sides so that we can G and back on. Let's do one more of each. So we stay in this left leg, then shift, pung into the right leg, lu, sliding back, releasing, dropping, shifting weight, and then we're going G to the left, shifting back, and sinking and releasing. Now, the fifth energy, it's called Psi, and I'll just show it to you from the side here. So weight in this, let's say the left leg, the hands come up and out in this grabbing, and they use the word plucking for some reason, and then you shift back and draw straight down to the middle. So let's just do that, repeating it just on the same leg a couple of times. So weights in the left, your hands sort of rise and reach, right? And they reach this high level, and then you grab, almost like you're grabbing a rope, and the weight comes back into that back leg, and you draw it down. So it's this downward sort of, and this is martial arts stuff, but it's mainly the energies that the chi likes to move in this way, sort of like a striking, lightning striking down. So let's do that again. Shift your weight into that left leg, and feel this feeling of total extension, grab, and then sink back and draw down. So it's this, again, out, down. Couple more. Out, down. Out, down. So now we're going to switch sides. So turn this left foot parallel. Turn the right foot out and put your weight in it and reach up and go get it, pluck it, and then sinking back and draw down into this space right inside the hip area. So again, out, and then down. Out, down. So think of it from a chi perspective, chi reaching out, and at that full reach at the way up in the sky, there's a natural down, out, out, so now let's switch sides each time. So we step parallel, turn the left foot out. As you put your weight in it, reach and grab, and you sort of step a little bit away from yourself so that you're going boom and pulling something back and down. And then we go the other way, parallel. Bring this right foot in. As you put your weight into it, reach and step the left foot back, and then pull down to yourself. Relax your arms, step, turn that foot out, reach, and then step, turn, reach, step, turn, reach, step, turn, reach, boom. Let's put it all together. So we've got from standing, we've got pung to the left, pung, loop, back, hands drop. We got G, on, sinking, releasing. Side, right? And then we would go on from there, but let's just go back to pung on this side now. Pung, loop. Drop hands, G, so you turn the left foot out, and G, drive forward, on, bring it back, settle, sinking, sinking, releasing, and then Sai, where the weight goes into this left leg, you reach and pull down. Again, pung this way. Pung, loop. Release, changing sides. G, drive, on, sinking, 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 releasing. Side, step into that right foot, reach, 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 pull. And then we do pung this way again. Pung, so we'll do one more all the way through each. Loop, relax, change sides, G, drive, on, returning and sinking through. And then Sai, reaching, stepping that left foot back a little bit and plucking and drawing down. One more this way. Pung, loop, relax, change, G, on, sinking, 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 through, Sai, reach, and pluck. Good. All right, find the middle. 3 more of the sink chi to wash organs. Sink, or flow through here, back to the belly where you pause, through. 2 more. Last one. So now that we're at the finish of the whole practice, all of it contained in sort of a bookend sort of way, we do one final, we do a sink chi to the belly, place one hand over the belly, other hand over that hand, and now we do that spiraling. So this takes all the energy and spiral it all the way out across the whole midsection, chi high as it's known, and then we spiral it back to the center and settle it there, right? So the hands stacked over, go up the left, over and down the right on your way out, spiraling out that way. So circling, spiraling, larger, larger still. Eventually you even take your hands off the body and just sort of direct using the magnetism of the hands to just get the chi to circulate, 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 circulate. It's dispersing, it's spreading, it's nourishing. And then at the top, pause and go back the other way. Around, around. Now we're getting slightly smaller, 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 consolidating. Now the hands get more in the stacked position. And then we rub over the belly, those very small circles, completely settle. And then release the hand. And one more time, sink chi to the belly as the closing. So that's called big opening, big closing. That's what you do at the very end to really just bring everything back to the central battery and then seal. And let's just take about 8 breaths here where you allow, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of class, not relying on grip, tension, and holding to hold you up, but having feet open, ankles open, knees open, just slightly bent, hips open, spinal column. You're not resting on any joint connection. You're letting the chi of the body, the hydraulic or energetic nature, water or energy, whichever helps make sense, let that be the system that you're relying upon. And over time, that system beefs up. The chi system, the hydraulic power, beefs up. And just these last few breaths, see if you can even open up whatever channel that makes sense to you about from the gut power back through the central nervous system all the way back up to the brain, like a sort of feeding or nourishing of a medicine of sorts to our brain. And our brain's usually overactive. It's usually eating up our chi in a sort of unconscious way, but now we're consciously nourishing. Last 3 breaths. And release the hands. All right. So that's a lot of new stuff. A lot of some unfamiliar stuff.